I like that picture. Alright. Okay, we're live, it looks like. 404 guy here, 7HE404GUY. We're going to be playing some more Kerbal Space Program today. I think I've worked out most of the issues with the microphone, so hopefully it'll sound a little bit better today than it has the past few days. Let's get that countdown timer started. About 2 minutes before we get into the game, we'll give some people some chances here to pop into the chat, say hello. Feel free to jump in at any time here. You know what would be nice? I don't know if it would be nice. It might not be nice. It might be rude. I don't know. But I could just include the game just kind of in the top corner of this. I don't know. This is already a pretty busy scene that you're seeing right now. But I'm just getting the game loaded up here. Yeah, maybe it would be nice just to have like the game in the corner, and you could be like, look, there's the game. It's loading. I don't know. I have my thoughts. So today we're going to be more so exploring the moon, I suppose. I'm going to see, maybe we can try to get to Minimus. I'm not sure if we can get to Minimus, but I'm going to try. And, you know, trying is really all we can do. We don't have a lot of science. We don't have a lot of stuff unlocked. Obviously, if we had everything unlocked, then that would be all just grand, wouldn't it? But we don't. So we kind of have to do our best here. Accomplish the missions that are set to us. One such mission may be transmitting science data from the surface of the moon. I think we could do that. I don't know. I get the feeling we might be able to land. Just that it's going to be a tough task. That's my idea. We'll give it a shot, though. We'll give it a shot. We see what happens. Anyway, we're going to start here in 7 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. There we go. And we are in the world of the Kerbal Space Program. Now, which of these can I upgrade? I can upgrade this. What does this give us? Patched conics available, visible in map. That might help. And this. Max contract 7. So if I upgrade this, that's 300. That's 150 plus 300. 150 plus 300. That's 450,000. We have 665. We still can't upgrade our assembly building, which would also be nice. And we're a long way off before we can do research and development. So one thing I'm going to do. Ooh, I don't know. It just feels. We can do flight planning. I'm going to upgrade this. And I'm going to upgrade this. That's 2 facilities upgraded. We got 200,000 remaining. We have flight planning available. And we can take on up to 7 contracts. Wouldn't that be nice? Let's try... So what do we have anyway? We have just explore the moon. Observational surveys of the moon. No. Observational surveys. Conduct temperature surveys. Nah, I don't think so. Test a parachute in flight at about 6,000 to 10,000 meters. That I can definitely do. Accept that. Science data from the surface of the moon. When does it expire? It doesn't say when the completion date is. Oh, deadline is year 9. Well, yeah, we'll definitely have it by then. Decoupler on suborbital flight at 180 to 190,000. We can definitely do that. I don't know that I really want to, but we could. And this is an escape trajectory. We don't need an escape trajectory just yet. We're not looking to escape just yet. Let's, Alright, so what's the easiest of these? I think the easiest of these is going to be testing the MK parachute. So let's load up testing the dang thing. I don't think we need this whole additional... Oops. We might need the engine. The rest of this, probably not. Okay, there we go. Kerbin, we need to be 6,000 to 11,000. Okay, and MK16, X16 parachute. Where's that parachute? KX-16. That's this guy. Oh. Well, that's rather unfortunate. Hold on. We got this guy in the way. Oopsie daisy. Okay, I'm gonna get rid of you. I'm going to instead put Octo down. Go Octo. There. Alright, now we can test that MK-16 parachute. Wait, MK-16 or MK-16XL? It's XL. Okay. Well, won't that be interesting? Okay, so that's experimental. Gonna get to 6,000 feet on Kerbin. I think we can do that. Yeah, I think we can do that, no problem. I'm going to say minimum pressure is going to be 75, altitude 1,000. Alright. Let's save that. Let's give it a test. All about making the money in this game, isn't it? Because you can't do the fun stuff unless you have the cash. You need the skills to pay. I was going to say the bills, but there's really no bills. So you need the skills to pay for more skills to pay not the bills. Unless it's the Buffalo Bills. You might need the skills to pay the Buffalo Bills. But I don't know how necessary that would be, ultimately. Alright, this is going to take us to 6,000, no problemo. 6,000 to however many thousands. We're above 6,000, we're flying. So we've now tested it, and it looks good. Okay. So now I've got the pressure thing set. I actually want to see what happens as this thing just kind of tumbles towards the ground. Will it self-deploy at 75% atmosphere? So it's approaching. We should see it kind of pop out here in a second. Okay, we're going too fast. We're going way too fast. Wow. Yeah, I didn't think that was going to stop us. Let's warp towards the ground. Carefully, I do say. 200 meters, 100 meters. Are we going to land on something important? It looks like we might. Easy now. Alright, well I really wasn't expecting that to happen. But it happened. So there we go. What did we recover? Did we recover much? Doesn't look like we recovered that much. Not a lot. Yeah, most of it kind of broke apart there when it hit the ground. Let's see. Suborbital spaceflight and suborbital spaceflight. These are not worth much. Testing a decoupler over Kerbin on a suborbital trajectory at 180,000. That I could do. I might just. You know what? Deadline is year 2. I should be able to do that by year 2. We'll go ahead and give that a shot. What else we got? So we need science data from the surface of the moon. We want to test a TR decoupler. We want to explore the moon. So let's try doing that all in one. Because if we can get a something that lands on the moon, then we'll all have a Merry Christmas. Let's see. Alright, so what I'm going to do with this guy. This is going to be a strict lander, no crew, no anything. So get this crew out of here. Okay, so this is going to be strictly a land... Oh, come on. Brake! Brake, won't you? Here. We're going to get rid of this. And I guess, realistically, we could get rid of more. Putting that on there. So this has pressure, this has temperature. That's about as much as I anticipate needing. Any other science data we could put on there? You also got the materials base, so I think this will be fine. The question is, how are we going to land it? A valid question. I'm going to put these landing struts on here. Actually, put them on like so, and then there's a little trick. You grab this, you pull it down. Now it should be able to land on the ground without blowing up. And we'll start these retracted because we don't need those out just yet. So this will hopefully land on the moon. Though I don't know that it will successfully do so on the surface. We'll have to see. We got plenty of communications. That should be fine. We're going to look at electrical stuff. You know, make sure that it's able to generate electron. Oh dear, we're over parts. How much over? 35 out of 30. Oh man, that's a lot. Okay, maybe we don't need the parachutes. Oh, we need to. Oh man, this is not going to be good, is it? Okay, this is not going to be good. So TD25 decoupler. Let's find that decoupler. TD25. There it is. Oh my, it's a large decoupler. Okay, well, we'll put that on the top. We want to orbit the moon and transmit data from the surface of the moon. So that one we should be able to do. What are we so far over on for parts here? I guess this decoupler here and this guy can go. So these two. How far over are we? 33. I guess these landing gear don't necessarily help us, do they? But they're a bit of a necessity, aren't they? I think so. I think we kind of need them. Which just begs the question, what do we get rid of then? Can't get rid of the battery. Don't want to get rid of the fuel as much as we can. We've got these little fins. These don't seem to be doing much. So what do we got? 29 out of 30. We can add something if we wanted to. But there's really nothing worth adding. Yeah, I think we're good with what we've got then. We don't have these stabilizers. We're just going to have to hope that this thing stays stable for the most part. Because those won't be around to fix it if it's not. So we need to test this at 180,000. Will do. So we'll save that. And we'll give it a test launch. And by test launch, I mean a very hopeful launch, because I'm not looking to lose this guy. Okay, so where are we going here? We are going to the moon. We are currently here. We will hit the moon if we launch now. And just go straight. Just send it directly up. Mind you, it won't be very graceful, but it will get there. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. We're losing it. Oh, we don't have a parachute either. Wow. Wow, wow. We are losing it something awful, aren't we? No. I guess that those things were necessary, weren't they? No, we're heading towards the ground now. That's a problem. That's a massive problem. We're gonna dunk it into the ground if we're not careful. Okay. No, don't dunk it into the ground. Come on. Oh, you little. Why, you little. I have swear words to say about that. Oh my gosh. That was terrible. Okay. That was just freaking awful. Okay, what can we get rid of then? Keeping the solar panels as much as we can. These feet did it to me, I'm sure. It's because we had to get rid of the fin stack on the bottom. Fancy winglet, deluxe winglet. This might be what we need. Much as it pains me to say it, we did lose that spacecraft. Oof. Yeah, we might just need these as a small necessity. Oh, what we really need is we need more parts. We need to be able to put more parts on this dang thing is what we need. Not that we will necessarily be able to. I'm just going to hope that we can land it on the moon, you know? Because maybe, you know what, maybe we'll get lucky and we'll find a flat spot. Maybe we'll get lucky and find a flat spot. That's kind of all we have going for us right now. Once we get into vacuum, we have plenty of fuel. Well, excuse me. We'll give that a shot. We lose this one, though, all bets are off. Alright? But we're not losing this one. See, we got these fancy control surfaces on the bottom. Wow, my throat. Let me grab a drink here. Alright. Yeah, these extra control surfaces are kind of they're gonna have to be what saves us here, I think. I mean, at the end of the day, we really do need this stabilization. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't you dare do that again. Don't you dare do that again. I didn't say you could. Come on. No, you don't. No, you don't. Oh, my gosh. It's doing it again. It's doing it again, guys. That's not fair. No. Oh, you little. How dare you. How. Oh, you son of a. How could you do that, man? You're just digging your own grave right now. We have the control surfaces. Dude, this is ridiculous. Come on. Come on. How many times did this exact design work perfectly fine just to completely screw up now? Like, what happened? We just too top-heavy? I think we're too top-heavy. That's the only explanation I could get. Wow, this is awful. Look at this. We can't control anything. What on earth did we do? What are we doing wrong here? Okay, let's... Oh, yeah, we gotta crash first, of course. Oh, wow, who could have saw that coming? Alright. What did we do wrong? What's going on here? This is a design that did work previously. Not only did it worked pretty dang well. So we're losing something here. Okay, get this off of here, first and foremost. So we have that center of gravity, right? This stuff empties out. That center of gravity is going to move up. We've got these control surfaces on the bottom. Which that aerodynamic overlay is kind of garbage, but it gives you something. There's your center of mass, center of thrust. So what's tipping us to the side? We got a reaction wheel at the top. You just need a second set, you know? Put in a bunch of these dudes. That actually might be necessary. Oh, but we're over parts. Darn you! Over parts by 2. Get out of here. Come on, go. Go. Just go. This deluxe winglet was garbage. Let's try it. Come on, stay up there. I am aggravated. All I can say. So yeah, that center of mass is going to move upwards. It's going to have a tendency to want to go up. So how do we keep the center of mass downwards? Like, could I put a second set of... No, I can't. Obviously not, because I don't have the space. I mean, this worked fine before. I guess we could add more control. Couldn't we? We could. Hold on, what was the reaction wheels on this? This had... Because that's really the biggest difference we made. 5, 5, and 5. And what's this? This is 5, 5, and 5. Let's add a couple more of them, actually. And that puts us right at our part limit. Dude, we're just hemorrhaging money, though. This is going comically bad. I think it's because we're jinxing ourselves by not having a dang parachute, but I'm not putting a parachute on this. It's not supposed to stay in atmosphere. It's supposed to get out of atmosphere, but for some reason it's not. Alright. What we're hoping is by adding those reaction wheels, this will not crash into the water again. Don't you do it. Don't you even try. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's the correct count. I thought for a second I was off on the count, but I'm not. Alright, now stay in a positive climb direction. Don't want to see you climbing into the water again. It's just awful. Come on, point upwards. Keep pointing upwards. It's looking good so far. Yeah, it's that little bit of extra control, it looks like, is... You know, I didn't think it would actually make that big of a difference, but it looks like it made quite the difference. So, I'll have to keep that in mind for next time. This is actually... This is quite stable, I'd say. Doing pretty well, actually. Doing much better than the last one. Alright, here we go. And we're done. And we're gonna let the momentum carry us up a little bit further. At least past 60K. Then we'll decouple, we'll start the secondary burn. Past 60K, almost, not quite. Get a little further. 62K, let's go. And I'm actually going to point us right at the right in the prograde direction there. So how does this work for patched conics? How does this? Can I add a maneuver? I cannot. So that's what that is. That's what the patched conics is. You can add maneuvers. Well, that'll be useful. That'll tell us something. That'll be plentiful. Potentially. Wow, it's dark? Didn't think it would be this dark. Lucky thing, this game is so interesting in the dark. Be nice maybe to have a little bit of visibility. So there's where we're at. Currently not approaching the moon, but the moon is going to pass in front of us pretty soon. Right, from where we're pointed, we're actually pointed in such a way we should be able to hit the moon at this trajectory. We just need to get that delta V going there. Now, for the spacecraft, do we get that information? It should show us what our acceleration rate is. Or we have to go up here to get our acceleration rate. So max acceleration 11 meters per second, which is not great. Not great by any stretch, but it's slowly going up. Alright, our signal is looking good, and it's unmanned. So, the quest here is to hit the moon. But are we going to hit the moon is the question. Which I don't know that we will. It's not looking hopeful. That apogee is growing, but it's growing so slowly. So slowly. We got 33 minutes of burn. Hold on, what if I'm just going to add maneuver. And I just want to see what happens if I hit this with as much as I got. That's estimating 1800 meters per second, so that's estimating that I won't use all of my fuel. Okay, well I'm going to go ahead and delete that maneuver. Hold on, how do I delete the maneuver? Oopsie. How do I delete this? Oh, I hit X. Okay. I can hit X. I have the ability to do so. So according to the patched conics, which is really useful to have, by the way. I think that was a good investment, the patched conics. That's going to definitely help with planning. All right, is it the patch? It's either the patch conics or the flight planning, but one of those is what's going to help us a lot here. One of them said that we're going to make it to the moon, no problem. So we'll see. At 1700 meters per second, our apogee is steadily climbing. We've still got a little bit of liquid fuel remaining. Now, as for whether this will be able to land on the surface of the moon. Ooh, that's a melon scratcher right there. You think we will? Or maybe we won't. I don't know. It really doesn't look hopeful, does it? But the gravitational acceleration on the moon is so low that maybe we won't actually need that much liquid fuel to land on the surface. There's a possibility we might be able to touch down. Certainly not going to be able to return to Kerbin from the moon with the current configuration that we've selected here. So here we go. Almost there. Almost. Not quite. Not yet. Not yet. A little bit. A little bit of a little push. And there we go. So that should enable us to at least get into orbit of the moon. Still, this is a suborbital trajectory. I'm not liking this this method. What we should probably do is the other method, where we you know, the other method where we go to the other place, whatever it is. Let's go ahead and warp there. Alright, so our communications are very clear. Not to mention, once we get close to the moon, we have a secondary communication system, which should enable us to land, hopefully. I say hopefully. I remain hopeful. Okay, so what I'm thinking here, what if I take this maneuver? Cannot add maneuver. Control locked. Well, it's probably because... Hold on. If I unlock the controls... Give me some sunlight. Let's go. Mr. Sunshine Flower. Alright. Okay, so if I do that enough, we're not going to hit the moon at all. Good to know. Yeah, this'll put us more so in line with the moon, sort of. It's 130 meters per second, burn time of 5 seconds. It doesn't look great, but you know what? I think that's what we've got to work with. So let's go here. Burn time in 40. That'll put us nice and close to the moon, at least. That'll be nice. So let's warp to maneuver. And it's only 5 seconds of burn time. Should be no problemo. Of course, it's really kind of pushing us out there, isn't it? We're only going 83 meters per second in the orbit, so 130 meters per second is rather substantial change, isn't it? I'd say it is. Alright, here we go, approaching our control point. Let's just push ourselves out. Alright, so our perigee around the moon is going to be about 70,000 meters. That's good. That's good. Let's, you know what? We could just warp into the moon now, if we wanted to. Let's warp into our moon encounter. And that'll actually, it looks like that'll put us into a stable orbit, too. Wait, what's going on here? Oh, there we go. Okay, that confused me. Okay, this flight planning is really confusing me now. Wow, is it ever. Okay, but 70,000 is where we want to go. Go ahead and warp there. I got to be careful with this. We don't have a lot of battery in our favor here. All right, so we want to try and actually land this thing. Now, I don't know that that's necessarily something we can do with this little fuel. Our orbit is 800 meters per second. I think that's a solid no. Something we cannot do with this amount of fuel. Do a quick material study. Useless. So useless. But one thing I think we can do is bring ourselves into a stable orbit of the moon. Let's do that. So there we are now in stable orbit of the moon. It's not a very good orbit, mind you. I'm actually going to go out to there, and I'm going to go out to this point. I'm going to bring out our orbit to be really, really wide. Why would I do that? Because, well, we're obviously not going to be able to land on it with this mission. This is just too cobbled together. Log temperature, no. So we weren't actually able to accomplish any of these. Returning from orbit of the moon, obviously we don't have a parachute, so that's not going to be possible. Scientific data from the surface of the moon, can't really do that yet either, because we don't have the requisite delta V to be able to land on the moon, not at this altitude. And we also didn't get a chance to test the decoupler, so that's sad face right there. Let's bring this guy out here. We're gonna burn prograde a little bit. Just enough. Hold on. There we go. Just enough to bring out that perigee. There we go. And this will just have to be another communications satellite. Just yet another communications satellite, as it were. You know what? I could go here. Add a maneuver here and just like rip. Okay, that's not what I wanted. No, sir. Go here. Add a maneuver and go rip. Hey, let me modify that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey, get back here. Wasn't done with you. Hey, get back here. Come on. What you doing, game? Can't do me like that. Okay, there's something really seriously messed up with this. What is going on? I'm clicking the X. Control locked. I don't care that the control is locked. This isn't in hibernation, and it's got electricity. So how is control locked? Oh, it can't communicate. That's why. Yeah, see, that's why I want to do that maneuver change. Okay, there we go. Now we can do this. Okay, let's try that again. Add a maneuver. Bring this up. But back. Up and back. Up and back. See, really what I want to do is I want to make it so that it's more or less likely that it'll be in communication at all times with Kerbin, or at the very least on kind of a polar orbit here. Rocking it up and back. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's kind of the orbit that I want to have. So we have one going this way, we have one going the other way, and hopefully that'll help to ensure that we always have coverage. So let's, what is that, 11 meters per second. I'm going to point us right at that target, and we're going to warp there. 11 seconds of burn. 'Tis rather unfortunate we weren't able to land. But I think this gives me some information for our next attempt. That information being, of course, we're going to have to try a little harder on our next attempt. For whatever it may be. It's going to have to be better than how this turned out, that's for sure. Alright, let's go. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and a 1. Alright, how is our perigee? Okay, apogee is 173. We're at 129. Okay, that's actually fine the way it is. So there we go. We have that polar orbit of the moon now, which is lovely. I'm actually going to time warp us a little bit ahead until we're right over the north pole of the moon, and then I'm going to see if we can get extra science from that, because that would at least make this mission worthwhile. Let's see if there's anything we can... Is this even worthwhile? It is not. Oh man, I would have thought that having, you know, some information about the polar orbit of the moon would be useful, but I guess not. Alright, let's get back to the Space Center. We're gonna have to modify this approach a little bit. We have to modify it just enough. So on the one hand, that was a successful launch. We're in a polar orbit of the moon. Oh my gosh, it wants us to modify that? You're crazy. Test a spark, test the thumper, and flight over Kerbin. We can do all of these. I'm going to go ahead and accept this one. I'm going to go ahead and accept this one. This will hopefully pay off the 30,000 to 37,000. We have to test the thumper. I don't know whether I want to do that. What's this one even worth? Spark is only worth 1,000. Why am I even doing that? So surface of the moon, that's the big one. Let's go test the spark engine. At the very least, that'll be something. Da-da-da. Where's Mr. Sparky? Where's Sparky? There he is. Go ahead and put this on top of it. Alright, let's go. Just an untitled spacecraft to test the spark engine at the launch site. Ought to be good enough. Alright, what's the requirement? Kerbal launch site, test the spark. Alright, that settles that. Good. We just got 3,000. That doesn't actually help us too much. It could have helped us more if we had been a little better off. But you know what? Hold on. Wait a minute. I changed my mind. Go back. Is there anything else we can accept now that we've burned through that mission? So Thumper, science data from space around the moon. Just anything. Alright, that I can do. I can do that at once. So scientific data from space around the moon. We have 2 spacecraft around the moon. One of them is in a polar-ish orbit. Where'd the second one go? Dude, we're missing a spacecraft here. What is going on? Wait, is it up? It's up here, but we can't see it. Why? Oh, it's a relay. Well, that's weird. I guess it is a relay. But it's also useful scientific data, so let's send it. I need you to be pointing in a polar direction, polar orbit, north-south. Alright, let's just send pressure, I guess. Alright, that accomplishes the mission. Back to the Space Center we go. I'm going to clear out a few of these, because I don't really need a history of everything we've done. That's just going to get difficult. Contract parameter complete. So, yeah, I don't need this, or 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 this. Okay, there we go. Oopsie. I'm hitting the escape key. Alright. Anything else? What else we got to do here? Parachute and flight over Kerbal. That's actually, you know, the money that you get in on these is kind of crazy. We've already basically done this. MK16 is just not the XL. I can do that. I mean, the thing is, we're supposed to be landing on the moon. But I can't add enough parts to be able to do that. Yeah, just load it. I'm going to get rid of this anyway. So we need to test MK16. That's this guy right there, right? That's the parameter of the mission. MK16, 6,000 to 11,000 at 60 meters per second on Kerbal. All right. We'll go ahead and save that. Now let's launch it. And test that parachute. Tell you what. As for landing on the moon, I'm kind of mulling it over as I do this. Kind of thinking about it, seeing what sticks, you know. What does the mind say? The mind says nay. I don't know. There's like a lot we could do to try and land on the moon. We don't have the delta V by the time we get there. And it could just be that we need to add an extra stack separator, but if we do that, then we're going to be over on our fuel requirement, which is going to be very not good. Hold on. Let me grab this. 0.7 for the pressure. Alright. Come on. 6,000. Good. We were just barely inside of the range. Alright, now I kind of want to see what happens now. So we've got it set for 70% pressure is when it's going to deploy, right? How is that going to look? So this is flopping around. Okay, 70% pressure. We should be there by now. Okay, so there it goes. So 70% pressure just deployed. Wowzer. Okay, that was something, though. That was really kind of crazy. We just, like, borped off the ground, dude. What was that bounce? We should have totally collided and gotten destroyed. How did we bounce off of the ground just now? Really weird. Crew member... Wait, you were... Oh my gosh, we almost just lost our crew member, dude. What? No way. There's no way our crew member was on that flight. Oh my gosh, dude. Are you kidding me? We nearly just completely lost that. You were on board. Oh my gosh. I didn't know. I had no idea that it was going to do something so stupid. Wow. I'm at a loss for words right now. That should not have happened under any circumstances. What on earth? That is just weird. Polar orbit of the moon. We could do that. It would work. It would just be too much. I want to test the ant. So let's just get what we have here. We want to test the decoupler on a suborbital trajectory over Kerbin at 180,000. This is worth 29,000 when it's completed, so we can just do that. I think we can just send something there. Let's just try to send it. New. Let's do. Oops. Do. Actually, no, let's start this off right. We do. And then we need to do. And then we need the do. I don't know where the do is going to be, but we'll do. So that you can do the do. And then, what was the part? TD25? That's a big do. Alright, so we got the do, we got the do, and then we got the big do. Right, we'll do the do, we'll do another do. And Terrier or Swivel? I'm thinking Terrier, because we're going to be probably pretty close to the atmosphere at least. And then as for the do, we're going to do, and then we're going to add a do. That'll be our do. Come on, give me my big do. There's our do. Terrier's going to get us up there. The second stack separator goes off once we hit altitude. I think that'll be enough for the do. Do you? Do you? This is going to be minimum pressure 60%, I think, 65. And I'm going to attach this to the decoupler here. So this decouples and it sets off that parachute, which will hopefully activate at the correct altitude. We'll just have to see. And then secondary engine. Where's our secondary engine? There's our secondary engine. Secondary, no, parachute is what we need down there. So parachute goes, this goes. Secondary engine goes, this decouples somewhere in space. And I'm hoping we can recover this at ground level. That's just a very hopeful parachute ad that we're putting in here. Very hopeful. Okay, so this goes, boom. This goes, boom, and this. It'll be 1,400 meters per second. Hopefully we get up into altitude. I mean, even a little bit of altitude, we should be able to get more than enough out of this. So let's just send it as is. That's actually not a very smart thing to do because we have no way of controlling this. Basically, just a Roman candle, more or less. Yeah, that's actually really bad. Let's go back. Yeah, there's no way that's going to be stable. What we're going to do, we're going to add a little bit of a winglet to the bottom. You know, just enough. Just enough that we're not going to completely lose it if we do send it. Alright, so I'm thinking arrow, active arrow. Right, like that. 7,000. Is this even worth it? It better be. Alright, we have active aerodynamic stabilization on the bottom. And we have reaction wheels on the top for added inertia. Hopefully. Hopefully it'll work. I hope that it'll work, because I put a lot of time into this. Alright, so there we go. We have positive vertical climb. It's not looking too grand. It's also not looking too bland. And of course, bland is something you want to avoid in rockets on Kerbal Space Program, because being bland is worse than being grand. Yeah, we got this massive, just this massive drag source on the top. It's ridiculous. Look at this. It's actually holding back our acceleration right now because the pressure is so high. That is ridiculous. What are we looking at? Only 13K? Are you kidding me? Come on, let's go. Gotta send this thing to altitude, dude. I think it was 180K, it said. On the plus side, we have positive climb rate. What was it? 180. Do you think we'll get 180? I don't know. It's looking pretty unlikely. I think 180 is a little bit of a ambitious dream right there. Of course, as the atmosphere thins out, it becomes a lot easier to lift this thing. So maybe 180K isn't that far-fetched. We'll just have to see. So going up and up and up. Yeah, no, that apogee is not growing very fast at all, is it? It's looking kind of problematic in a way. We kind of want to break out of the atmosphere, and then we want to hit 180,000. On this thing, it doesn't look like it's going to happen. Just going to hit the edge of the atmosphere here, and then we're going to let it coast a little while. Coast ourselves up so that we're further out of the atmosphere. Don't have to worry so much about that aerodynamic resistance. A little bit better efficiency, too, and lower pressure. Okay, here we go. 60K. I'm thinking 60K is going to be enough, and then send it at 60. So 180,000, that's where we're testing this thing. Alright, here we go. Out of atmosphere, but not out of luck. 180, let's go. Alright, we're going to hit 180. Perfect. Be able to test this thing. So we hit 180,000, we activate the TD56, TD25 decoupler. That'll be good. What's even better is we can do auto warp. Check it out. Alright, we're in zone. Ready. Something just fly away? It felt like something flew away just now. I guess nothing did. So that's all well and good. Let's point ourselves progradient, the direction of our velocity. Here we go, 180 something, close enough. Is there any benefit to keeping this thing alive? At the very least, we don't want to land on Kerbal. Kerbal Space Center, here we go. Wow, this thing is really asymmetrical, isn't it? And that's probably because we got this this parachute here. I'm going to go ahead and say parachute at 60% atmosphere. Kind of curious. Let's just watch this in its initial re-entry. Because it's going to have a massive amount of drag on it. That should hopefully kind of keep it like a dart pointed towards the ground. It also provides some kind of drag. Look at it go. So there's our dart drag. Wow, that really stopped us like a dime, really. Yeah, that brought our surface velocity down quite appreciably. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the parachute. I just want to see. Parachute is dropped. It should be able to self-deploy once it gets to 65% atmosphere. Okay, now we're just kind of dropping like a weirdly shaped object. That's going to slow us down on its own. This thing possibly could land on its own. There's a possibility there. The distinct possibility is there. So yeah, so as you can see, we no longer have probe control. But since I deployed that parachute, there's a very solid chance that the parachute itself will just deploy on its own once it gets to the correct atmosphere. Right? It said 65%, I think. So it should let go on its own here in a second. Alright, here goes. Come on. You're getting close to that 65. Close to the magic number here. Let's go. Let's see it. I want to see this thing live. Alright, it deployed itself. Look at that. Learning those survivability tips a little bit every day. See, we don't even have control of the probe right now. This is sans control. And now we're moving at 6 meters per second, hurtling towards the ground. So I guess technically I don't even need to keep track of this thing. Well, the game isn't going to let me go back to Kerbal Space Center while the thing's accelerating, so that's kind of disappointing, but, you know. So if I wasn't focused on it, I guess here's the question. If I wasn't focused on this, and it re-entered the atmosphere the way that it just did, would Kerbal Space Program correctly interpret that the parachute is to be deployed at such and such an altitude and that the vessel will be recoverable at ground level? Or will Kerbal Space Program just delete the vessel and say, yeah, it was lost? That is the question, to which I have no answer. I don't know. And I'm not really willing to test it on this particular one. But I could spin up a sandbox and just see. Right, because here we go. Landing. Right, landed well enough. Recover the vessel. So theoretically, I guess what we'll be testing is whether or not we can recover the first stage. Because the first stage had the same thing, and theoretically should have landed at the ground without any issue. Right, so there we go. We got some parts back. We should have something splashed down. We should have some debris splashed down. But we don't. No, Kerbal Space Program did not correctly interpret where the debris would land. This certainly isn't it. What an interesting discovery. So I guess we just need to stay focused on anything that's re-entering then, don't we? In flight over Kerbin. I don't know. You can definitely test the ant at the launch site. Flight above Kerbin. See, some of these I don't know so much about. I really should just get back to trying to put something landing on the moon. I should just get back to it. Okay, so here we go. Get rid of this ugly thing. What was the assigned mission? To test the ant at the launch site. Well, that's easy to do. Hold on. Get this. Where's the ant? There's the ant. Attached. Yeah, good enough. That's where you would expect to attach an engine, isn't it? I guess so. Nothing to say it ain't. Alright, here we go. Mission accomplished. We got the ant back. That gives us a little bit more operating budget there. Okay. Let's clear out these useless contracts. Okay, that was not bad. Plus 29 and another plus 13. All right. I don't know. I'm obsessed with these, just because they pay so well. A lot of them. Okay, observational surveys. Take a crew report above. Yeah, no, that's not going to happen. Thumper, no. The polar orbit of the moon, and this gives us 10 years to place that. Needs a science junior. Reasonable deviation. Build a new unmanned probe that has an antenna and can generate power. Maintain stability for 10 seconds. We could theoretically do this, but I'm more interested in one of these guys. Surface of the moon. Like, if we could do that, wouldn't that be awesome? And then it'd pay pretty well. And if we could do it for cheap enough, then wouldn't that be great? So let's load our unmanned moon lander, which doesn't have a person on board. Thanking goodness for that. Okay, so these, I'm going to put 2 of these on still. Just going to put them up there. Okay, get rid of the Science Junior. Okay, so this is 4,000 once we get out of atmosphere, isn't it? That's in back. No, that's at altitude. Oh, wow. This is much more efficient without that Science Junior. How heavy was the Science Junior? 0.2 tons. And yet it makes that big of a difference? Hold on, I put this back on. Oh, It actually doesn't make that big of a difference. Okay. So something else was making a huge difference in this. I wonder what it was. What is our parts count? 29 out of 30. So we need... So it'll be 4,000 once it gets out there. So like, if I could just... I'm going to drop an antenna. We're only going to have one antenna on this guy. What we're going to do is when we go to land, we are going to use a secondary Terrier engine, but this one is going to be stack decoupled from here, right? Because this second engine is going to be like out in space. It's going to be around the moon by the time it gets to there, hopefully. Right? And by the time it gets to there, that's going to be 2,300 meters per second of delta V. At sea level. Ah, not at sea level. I see. Level. It's going to be this guy. This guy's going to go second. After this breaks off, so hopefully we get to the correct altitude, and then we break that off, then we get this guy, and then we go, and then we do the thing. It doesn't tell us what the delta V on this guy is, though. A little disappointing. Oh, that's because it breaks off. Whoops. This goes here, this goes up here. Sorry, you go up here. There we go. Alright, that tells us what we need to know. So we're right at our 30-part limit here. In a vacuum, we get quite a bit of delta V out of this. I really like this secondary engine, though, because we burn so much to get to the moon, and then we can decouple it, and then it's just this little guy that's got to hit the ground. And it's less mass to try and fight against, right? I'm thinking that's going to be a better solution in general. It's kind of gun-shy, you know, because we lost so many of those, just kind of popped over Kerbin. This thing's got science stuff on it, so hopefully it'll be able to do that. And it's got this guy. That's not going to help our center of gravity too much. You know what? On the other hand, I think it'll be enough. Oh dear. We're going to get orbit first. Just makes sense to get orbit first and then try to do the thing afterwards. Wow, this thing just shakes. Why does it shake so much? Probably because it's so loosely put together. Alright, easy goes now. Don't want to see this thing plummeting into the water. Not looking grand. Not looking bland. Like I said moments ago, looking bland, that's what you don't want to do. Very carefully tilting ourselves over, very, very carefully, in the direction of 9 or 0. Because this atmosphere is still pretty thick, and the aerodynamic controls on this thing are not great. Here we go. Easy goes, easy goes. 500 meters per second and climbing. Alright, we're looking good so far. Gotta get that gravity turned as much as we can. Alright, here we go. An eye on this. Alright, so we are going to get into atmosphere. Or out of atmosphere, it looks like. Just going to let this climb, climb, climb. Now, I am curious, how well does it do the maneuver for this? So Kerbal Space Program predicts we're going to need more than what we have. That's what it predicts. See how accurate that prediction comes true. It will come true. I guarantee it. The game knows. It knows, dude. It just knows. Over here, gonna go like this. Okay, so it's going to be close, is what it's saying. It's going to be close, but it is going to have a cigar. Close but with cigar. Burn time 2 minutes. T minus 55 seconds. That means I gotta start now. Alright, there we go. Can it hit the moon? I don't know. We'll have to see. Really started burning at the wrong time there, though. I have to nose up just a little bit here. Keeping the nose in the air. Yeah, see, we're starting to go down too much. So we gotta push up, push up, push up, I say. Gotta fight that gravity, dude. Can't let gravity have the way. Wow, we gotta really nose up here, actually. Really nosing up here. Can't let that velocity vector cross into the negatives. We can't be going down, is the thing. Oh, we're losing it. We're losing it. Slowly but surely, we are definitely losing it. Okay, 0 vertical velocity, but we're kind of frozen there. Let's just hope. Kind of hoping against hope here, aren't we? And it's a matter of, can we get to the moon? And if we can get to the moon, can we land there? Alright, easy does. Very carefully now. It's not doing too bad. We do have a positive climb rate. We don't need that positive of a climb rate, so we can start kind of pushing ourselves. We're just very, very close to that apogee. We've got to make sure that apogee stays ahead of us. But we can chase it as much as we want. Let's try chasing it, see where we get. There we go. Alright, we're chasing our apogee. Look at that. Just very carefully chasing it, because we don't want to overshoot too much. Okay, we don't need this burn time anymore. We're flying by wire now. Alright, so now we're starting to catch up with our apogee. Got to be careful of that. Oh. Not quite, not quite. Almost there. Almost. Alright, we got positive perigee. Let's get that above 50, above 60, above 70. Alright. So this, at the very least, gets us to orbit. So the moon is over there. We're going to want to maneuver from here towards the moon. So from about here. 530 meters per second. This is our flight planning node. Yipes. A little too far. Okay, not quite where I wanted it. 800 meters per second. That's actually just about what we have here. So this will get us to the moon, and then the other one is going to be our lander. Well, isn't that interesting? It's our Ned lander. Ned Landers. It's Ned Landers. Okay, carefully go. Carefully doodly. Hadley diddly. Alrightly riddly. That's a little too far. A little too fartly foodly. Fartly doodly. Fartly doodly. Fartly doodly. Fartly doodly. Okay, that's 855. So no matter what, we're going to be kind of bumping into the second one here, aren't we? This is our best bet right here too. Oh, come on. Come on. Quit doing this to me, game. You got to quit babying me. Come on. Let me adjust this. Oh, come on. Would you just cut it out? Would you? Okay, so 780. 780 will bring us to about there. Why did it move so far? Oh, come on. I am really, really getting annoyed by this garbage. Come on. You're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. Pick one, dude. Come on. Pick one. Pick one. Pick one, anyone. I don't care which one, honestly. Either it's going to be in or it's going to be out. Just don't flip it on and off every 2 seconds. Like, if you could even just let me pause, then that would be grand. This game, I tell you, is just so bloody well annoying. Okay, there we go. Finally. So don't cut in and out from now on. Onegai shimasu. It is not fun. Stop it. Okay, so there we go. So 8:30 something is what we've got. About 8:35. So that's about what we've got. That's not going to be enough to get us to the moon. So we need to burn a little bit extra to get there. That's what it's looking like. So it's going to be like right on target with the moon. What if I move myself just a little bit here? About 800 meters per second of burn. Right about here. Right, this gets us out to there. It's 8:59. It's a little better. 8:46. I think this is, yeah, this looks like our best bet node right here to get to the moon. More or less. 8:44. That's pretty close to what we got. It's 8:40. Yeah, we're just going to need that little extra push to get us there. But we'll get there, is the point. Alright, there we go. Pointing at the node. Ready to go. So now we just need to warp there. Very nice to have this warp to next maneuver. It's this auto warp. Who would have thought auto warp would be such a useful feature? Alright. Roughly there. Auto to the point. Ready to go. Right about there. Right about there. Don't drift too far. Alright. 47 seconds. We'll wait to about 30 seconds to execute the maneuver. 50 seconds. Let's double check that we are in good communication. Oh, right, we're in perfect communications, actually. Right where we need to be. Right over top of a communication center, so it's not going to cut out halfway through. Let's go. That will be nice. So they say. Looking good so far. Looking good. Looking good. Alright. Maneuver a little bit. Yes, very useful to have this. I like it a lot. Okay, we're approaching the end of our first stage here. So we're going to decouple and start the second one. And right about there. Oh, come on, decouple. Decouple! Yikes. Come on, why can't I stage it out there? I should be smart enough to stage it. Alright. Right about there ought to be good. Only a few meters per second, so we're pretty much full on fuel now. We'll be fine. So we just need to get to the moon, for which I am going to set our little doodad into hibernation mode. Just need to get to the moon, and then we need to land on it, and then transmit signs from the surface. Let's go there. Wait a minute. Gotta make sure that I am ready to cancel, because I think I might have clicked on the purple dude. If I clicked on the purple dude, well, then that's not a good sign. Alright, so we got communications. We're good. I'm actually going to just warp just into it there. I think that was the right click. That was the right one. Alright, there we go. Okay, so this will be good. We'll get to here. I'm going to add a maneuver point. I can't because control is locked. Well, can I at least warp there, please? If you wouldn't mind, I would appreciate it. Alright. It is appreciated. Let's go. Whoa, hello. This is a quite heavily controlled little contraption we got here. So we're going to push ourselves this way. I think this will land. No problem, man. I think it's a land. Jaman. Alright. Jaman. Alright. Now I want to be pointed at the Earth. So I'm actually going to let this. I'm going to let this warp around a little bit until we're nice and in the sunlight. All right, our landing point is now in the sun. So we're going to warp over to the other side here again, and right from here we're going to do our maneuver. Kind of bring ourselves in. That'll be our primary maneuver right there. And our secondary maneuver will be to stop ourselves on the other side. That's only 2 seconds of burn. Wow. Okay, we got plenty to land. All right, let's warp there. All right, looking good, looking good. Make sure we got enough electric charge. All right, heading to the dark side of the moon. Sort of. Actually, no, we're still pretty well in the sun, aren't we? Here we go. Only 2 seconds of burn from here. Like, this is a peppy little spacecraft we got here. All right. Peppy the spacecraft. That's what I'm going to name it. All right, perfectly there. I'll get our perigee nice and close at 50,000. That's a real bargain, I tell you what. I'm going to rename this vessel Pepe the Vessel. Oh, come on. P-E-E-L or L-E? Vessel. This is going to be our lander. Peppy little vessel. Alright, so we're going to head over here and we're going to try and land on the surface. If it is possible to do so. Let's go. Dun, 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 dun. If we can land, then that will be so grand. Alright, so we're kind of bumping back and forth. Alright, we are now in view of the Kerbal, which hopefully should be enough. I think that's a little bit of a suspect angle right there. I'm not going to trust that particularly much. I'm going to move a little bit further here. I want to make sure that that angle is as high as possible, because if we get blocked by a crater, I'm going to be so upset if we can't land this. Yoips, am I ever going to be upset. I'm going to be so upset, I'm going to be like, dude, I'm never playing again. No, we'll land it. We'll land it. Don't you worry. Have no fears. Drink no beers. That's what true heroes say. Have no fears and drink no beers. Only a true hero could say such words. Alright, there's our suborbital. We're ready to go. We're ready to land. Alright. It's going to be a surface velocity that we keep track of. Obviously, it is more useful to keep track of our ground altitude. And we've got plenty of electric charge. We've got plenty of everything, really. Just going to keep ourselves pointed up like this, away from the ground, because we want to move away from the ground. So I'm gonna go ahead and move into here. Warp ourselves down a little ways. Alright, our ground velocity, 280 meters per second. I'm going to go ahead and push that back a little bit. There we go, just a wee bit. Keep ourselves from accelerating too quickly towards the ground, of course. Oh yeah, we're going to land this, totally. We are totally going to land this. We totally got this, dude. Now, of course, if I try to warp it now, it's not going to work. Is there like a control warp? Can I like shift or control or something and just like do a physics warp where the engine stays on? Because that would be nice. Still 36k above. Oh, 36k above sea level. Wow, that would have been really annoying. We're 23k above ground. Let's keep an eye on that surface velocity vector. I'm going to make sure that we don't impact the ground, as it were. Okay, keeping it easy, keeping it careful, keeping it sly. 85 meters per second. Okay, we're in a suborbital trajectory. Can I send anything? Not useful? Okay, pressure data. Okay, get out of here, pressure data. Come on, don't clog up my view here when I'm trying to do stuff. Come on, Mr. Pressure Data. Come on. Alright, we are on a landing trajectory. It's looking good so far. I'm going to slowly drop down our velocity here. Just sitting very carefully on the engine here. 6,000 meters to go. Surface velocity of about 90 meters per second. We're going to bring that down to 0 right before we hit the ground, that's for sure. Unfortunately, this looks like a rather hilly area, so we might roll on landing, which I am not looking forward to. One bit. Can we... No, we cannot warp. If we try to warp, we will crash into the ground. Good to know, good to know. Keep ourselves pointed above. Very, very carefully. We actually have enough. We could take off again if we wanted to. But I don't have a parachute, so we wouldn't be able to land back on Kerbin. Which would be rather quite unfortunate, I think. Look at this. Our communications dish is pointed at the ground. That's going to be useful. Alright. To start bringing in that velocity a bit here. Carefully now, carefully. Let's get that below 25, I'd say. Below 25 would be nice. Alright, there we go. And we're slowly making our way towards the ground, just very carefully pushing back against gravity. We don't need to be going too fast. We don't need to be going too slow, though. Because if we go too slow, ain't nobody gonna watch it, Joe. Alright, carefully now, carefully. There's our surface velocity vector. We should be able to see our shadow. There it is. 2 meters per second. We want to be 10 meters per second when we get below 100, but we don't need to be too aggressive with that. We do minute adjustments. Careful now, careful. Alright, we're looking really good with our velocity here. Our velocity's looking great, matter of fact. meters per second. 11 meters per second. Okay, we're increasing velocity very, very slightly, but it's not that terrible. Bring it up. Alright, 10 meters per second. Very careful, very gentle decline here. 8 meters per second. Okay, okay. Last thing we want to do is bounce off the ground, so do be careful with that. Easy does. It would be nice if I had like RCS. Those RCS thrusters would be really nice right about now. I tell you what. Alright, we're too light, too light, too light. Too light, too light. Need more velocity to hit the ground. And hopefully stay there. Okay, carefully now. 1.5, 1.5. Easy does, easy. There we go. We have landed on the surface of the moon. Now, the actual objective, to transmit scientific data. We've done it. We've done it, ladies and gentlemen. Wow. Landing on the surface was so easy. Send some scientific pressure data. No pressure, no pressure. Alright. Alright. And look at that, we got 715 meters per second to play with. We could bring that back, I think, if we wanted to. So we got scientific data from the surface of the moon. Now we want to return from orbit of the moon eventually. I think this could do it. Like this design, it is so light. We could bring it back from Kerbin. I think we could bring it back from the moon very easily with this. So I'm happy with that. Let's go back to the Space Center. That's mission accomplished, ladies and gentlemen. All right. Oh, is my lip bleeding again? I think it is. Nope. Okay. Felt like it was. Oh wow, look at that. 348,000. So we're doing good. We're doing very good here. So test the spark engine we can. Escape trajectory out of the moon. Poodle engine orbiting Kerbin. Really? Really? I can do that. Actually, I can do that pretty easily. Okay, so we want to test a decoupler at the launch site. I can do that. Anything else we can test? Test the landing gear. I can do that. And test the spark engine. I can do that. Space around Kerbin. I can definitely do that. Alright, so these are what we're going to do. I should be able to do that like in one mission, I think. Let's give it a shot. So what we're going to do is we're going to add the decoupler, and hold on, here we go. What is it? What is it? We need to test the liquid fuel engine, so let's add Octo. Hello. Hello, Octo. Alright, so we need to test Spark on Kerbin landed. So where's the Spark engine? There's Sparky. Alright, Sparky. Test the LY-10 small landing gear. Where is it? LY-10. Okay, there it is. Test it. TD-06 decoupler. TD-06, there it is. And we can test that all in one shot, basically. Alright, let's go. The landing gear is going to be simple. We're just going to test landing gear, and then the decoupler and the engine are going to go at the same time. And that should be a good test. It's technically landed. I mean, it's landed, isn't it? Run test. Alright, there's the test, and then... Watch this, we're going to complete two at once. Cha-ching! Alright, let's recover. 2 for 1, 2 for 1. Now what do we get? Yeah, those were some easy missions, those ones. Next, 1209, alright. What other easy missions you got for me? Ferrying tourists. Ferrying tourists. I don't want to ferry tourists. I don't want to deliver no VIP. Fly by the moon. Oh, man. Return. You people are nuts. How much does that pay? That doesn't even pay that much. You're nuts. Haul a hammer into flight above Kerbin. 17 to 250. Yeah, we could do that with just the hammer itself. Don't need to haul nothing. We could test the radial thing. Well, what do we got? We gotta send scientific data from space around Kerbin. We can do that immediately, so let's just do that real quick. Well, we have the chance. Flying debris. Random floater. There we go. Untitled Communications Sat. I think that had the ability, didn't it? I think so. It must have. I must have put something on this thing. Come on, where's the thermometer? I always put a thermometer on it. There it is. Alright, there we go. Always the thermometer, 'cause you never know. The thermometer might be the thing you need. Yeah, that was surprisingly easy to land on the moon. I thought it would have been quite a bit more difficult than that. That kind of leaves me at a loss now. What do I do? I mean, what do I do? What else we got here? Test the poodle orbiting Kerbin. Skip trajectory. In flight. Test the chute. So we want to test the flea. We want to test the chute. We want to test the hammer. I wonder if we could do that all at once. Let's take a look at what we can buy with our research points, by the way, because I really want to get this advanced exploration. Once you get this mobile processing lab, it's like all bets are off, you know. But for that we need space exploration, which is all these funzo things. Funzo. Cargo storage. I don't know. Radial. See, that's worth 90, but another thing that's worth 90 is heavy rocketry. So this kickback booster, after jettisoning, once recovered, it's refurbished and refueled. Okay, it's a heavy booster designed to be... Wait, that doesn't tell me anything. Hold on. No, that actually doesn't tell you a heck of a lot, does it? Okay, so maybe the kickback isn't all that useful. These guys got a heck of a lot. Look at this. The Poodle engine, look at that. 350 ISP. Not bad. It's only 320. So yeah, you can actually get quite a bit with the Poodle engine as well. But I believe, if I recall correctly, that one was huge. These propulsion systems might actually be better. Yeah, fuel systems. Aerodynamics, don't need it. Landing could be useful. Could be unuseful. It's hard to say. You know, I don't know what to get. RCS would really be useful. You know, that landing we just did on the moon would have been a lot easier if we had these RCS thrusters. Just saying. We have the space exploration, which really is looking the better EVA kit. Hold on, what's this EVA kit? Despite observations, what does it have? It doesn't say. I don't know if that would be useful or not. Adapter, and then we have the docking port. The docking port would actually be really nice to have, I think. So we can either do miniaturization, I think miniaturization or space exploration. One of these two is what we kind of need. Like, I obviously want to get this, but I don't have enough research. Hitchhiker storage, don't really need it though. The miniaturization almost looks like it'd be better, and that would give us a docking port. It's hard to say. I'm just indecisive. Also, we got 375. Can we upgrade anything for 375, or should we look at hiring someone? We got Bargain Bob. We got Svetlana. We don't have the engine guy. The engine grain. I don't know. I could land a second. I could do a second moon lander, probably. Try for a second moon landing. And this time, just instead of scientific data, just attach a heat shield and a heat shield and a parachute, right? So let's get the unmanned moon thingy, because we know this will get to the moon, no problem at all. This will land on the moon, no problem at all. The question is, if we want to accomplish the mission of bringing something back from the moon, then what must we do? So one thing will get rid of the pressure, and another thing will get rid of the temperature. So this will be completely useless in terms of gathering scientific data. But heat shield. I don't want to put the heat shield on here, you know. Oops, right there. So this is going to probably break off. Then we need something to land with. So I'm going to go ahead and take these solar panels. I'm going to only make them two solar panels. Right, that frees up some parts. That allows us to add some parachutes. So we'll put one. Yeah, I kind of want to put them. I don't want to put them off center too much, because you know, center of thrust. This one has to be minimum altitude of 0.55, I'd say. And this one is going to be altitude 0.6. So minimum pressure 0.6. That should be hopefully close to ground. You know what, I'm actually going to put this at 5.5 as well. And this one I'm going to bump up to 0.43. Yeah, 0.4. That'll be good. So the small one goes, it'll hopefully slow us down. The large one goes, it'll hopefully stop us. This way we can launch both of these before we re-enter the atmosphere even, and hopefully it'll be enough to stop us, to bring us to a halt at ground level. So, launch these 5, separate them, launch this guy, separate them. Then we have this massive thing, which should get us into orbit of the moon, and back. and slow us down in atmosphere. And then we just have this little tiny dude at the top here, which I should really add a separator for that. Add a decoupler. Like so. That should more or less get us to the moon and bring us back. And the mission is to return to Kerbal from orbit of the moon. So we can do an orbital flight, orbit it a couple of times, and then bring it back. It has the capacity to generate electricity because of these nice little solar panels on the top. I think this will work. I think this will work. I am hopeful. I'm willing to bet on it. Let's see. So we're going to get into atmosphere. We're going to get into orbit. We are then going to... Oh dear. Oh my goodness. Okay, talk about unstable. Yikes. This thing is major unstable here. I tell you what. That thing just nearly tipped over on the launch pad. That was awful. Alright, here we go. This time not tipping over on the launch pad. Easy does, easy goes. Be very light on these controls. Alright, those little aerodynamic winglets on the back should help. Oh, no, 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 no. Don't you dare get into a death spiral. No, you don't. I inform you, thou shalt not get into a death spiral. It was about to, you see, it was getting that natural oscillating frequency there. Now, wouldn't it be nice if you could adjust the PID controls of this? I'm assuming they're using a PID controller. I don't think they would have implemented anything as crazy as an LQR. But if you could just adjust the gains so that you don't get that oscillatory mode, something tells me that would just be a nice little quality of life thing, you know? Nice little quality of life addition to Kerbal Space Program. I get the feeling. Alright, we're going to go up to 60K and then start burning that sideways trajectory there. Here we go. 53, 57. Alright, so we're going to disconnect, burn this guy, disconnect. So burn this guy first. So disconnect. Burn up this guy a little bit. We really want to be kind of going this way, mostly. About 2,000 meters per second to play with. That should help. That should be enough to get us into an orbit. So as you can see, our orbital velocity is now increasing again. And with 2,000 to play with, hopefully we can get that tangential velocity enough that we can actually get a stable orbit. As you can see, our apogee is increasing very, very slowly. Maybe not as slowly as it needs to. Or maybe not as quickly as it needs to. As you can see, our velocity vector is slowly making its way towards the ground, just to our left there. But yeah, we're going to send this. We're going to hopefully get this into orbit. I don't think there's going to be any issue getting this into orbit at all. I mean, once we burn this up, we got this guy. This guy landed us on the moon, so that should not be an issue at all. We could theoretically get to Minimus with this dude. We could do a flyby of the moon, and then a flyby of Minimus in the same flight, and then land at Kerbin. Still have enough to land. I think we'll have enough to land. I don't think that's going to be a problem at all. Alright, now let's just check that velocity vector there. That velocity vector ain't looking so good. It's not looking so hot. It's trying to go down. We aren't going to let it, though. No, sir. We aren't going to let it go down. What's our velocity looking like there, eh? Okay, we have passed apogee, so we need to go up. A little bit there, a little bit. Went a little far. Well, let's go up there just a wee bit here. 30 degrees, not enough. Okay, there we go. Our apogee is now catching up with us. This is where we need to be here. See how our apogee is not moving away from us anymore? We just want to kind of keep that at the ground for the most part for now, until we get a stable orbit. Okay, now it's ahead of us, so we can push ourselves down a little bit. Work on building up that tangential velocity that we worked so hard for. Easy does it. Easy does it. Alright, we're catching up with it again, slowly but surely. Looking good, though. Got a little bit of fuel left. Not going to be nearly as good as that moon landing maneuver that we made. No, sir. But it's certainly going to be something, at least. Okay, easy does. Alright, look at that. We're starting to get something. Something with a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of stuff. It looks like a cat. Got that perigee out yet? Where's our perigee? Come on. Got one chance at this, man. Because I'm only giving myself one chance. Here we go. 423 meters per second to play with. Not as much as I would have liked. So by the time we get back around to... Well, actually, we could just go from here, couldn't we? We could just send it in from here, couldn't we? We're pretty close. You know, we could just send it from here. What if I sent it from here? Oopsie, that's too far. Okay, so this will get us to the moon. With a delta V of 800 meters per second. That's not great. But we could do it. I think that's more than possible. And we got to get into orbit of the moon is the important part. I'll go ahead and... Yeah, because basically from where we are is where we need to send it. But that's like when we come around again. So basically from here, we're going to come around and then push off from there. I think that's going to be our better selection there. Well, I guess we're kind of splitting hairs at this point, but 857 meters per second. That'll get us to the moon. I think that'll work. And hey, look, we're pretty much aligned already for the maneuver. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? 26 seconds. Let's warp there. So then we're going to separate, and then we're going to do this guy. Then we're going to separate, and then we're going to see what happens. Do we have more mass? I guess we do have more mass. We have the stack separator and everything, so I guess that's something to be said about that. Alright, 43 seconds of burn. Pretty much ready to go here any second now. Going to bring us down to 22 seconds until node. So our node time is now 30 and 20 something. There we go. Gonna burn from there. And this is kind of our moon shot. That'll get us there at least. Yeah, it would have been actually better if we burned from back here. I'm looking at it, but you know, it's really too late to go back on that now. So we'll here we go, 57. It's about halfway through, and this is the correct separator, yes. And this is the correct engine, yes. All right, here we go. Carefully now. Alright. That gets us just into contact with the moon. Then we're going to bring it out to get an orbit. Oops, sorry, bumped the microphone. Once we get an orbit, we are going to bring it back in. And hopefully land at Kerbin without destroying ourselves. Whoa! Talk about a warp. Hey! Where'd the moon go? No! Did we run out of batteries? We ran out of batteries. Which way are we facing? Oh, we're facing away from the sun? No! How did I do that? Oh, man. Well, that's not good at all. That is very not... I'm pretty upset by that now. You're telling me we're not going to get any electric charge because we're oriented like this. Oh my gosh, I hate that. I am so upset right now. Like, actually, that was such a waste, wasn't it? And chances are this thing's going to explode on impact. Like, it's not getting anything. Neither of these is getting anything. It's not blocked, is it? Direct sunlight. Can I force you into hibernation? No. Oh, man. That's not fair. Oh, that is so awful. Let's keep an eye on this electric charge. That is just so awful. Oh, man. Talk about bad luck there. Yikes. You know, we're just gonna hit the ground, basically. Probe ran out of electricity thanks to Mr. Moron. That's me. Little Hulk. How did I do that? Oh, man. Look at that. We don't even have sun now. Still don't have it. The sun is fully on the other side of these solar panels. They're not even blocked. They have direct sunlight status. The fact of the matter is, we're just pointing the wrong way. Oh my gosh. Because the sun's back there, so they're just pointed away from the sun is the problem. And this is just going to crash into the ground, is what's the deal. I mean, there's a chance that it'll correct itself in atmosphere, but it's going to be like so... Velocity's going to be so high, it's not even going to make sense. There's no recovery from this. There's no reasonable recovery from this. Like, look at this thing, dude. See, now we've got some electricity. Jeez. Yeah, we lost everything. It's gone. It's as good as gone right there. It just broke up. She broke up. She gone. For all intents and purposes. That was awful. Quite awful indeed. This isn't a controllable vessel. I don't know what it's talking about. But this is slated just to crash into the ground. Man, that was a good mission. That would have worked. That's what gets me about this. That would have worked perfectly. If not for this little, oh, we didn't put it into hibernation. Wouldn't that have just been... Like, there's no auto-hibernate? Is there no way to auto-hibernate something that's going to be literally sleeping for 6 hours? Like, come on. On the one hand, this game gives you a lot of freedom. On the other hand, it's really kind of stupid how they've implemented some of these things. Oh, you ran out of electricity because the machine wasn't hibernating. Like, come on. Like, literally. What does it take to hibernate? I gotta press a button? If I'm in time warp, it should just be automatically hibernated, right? It's like you're in time warp. Why does it need to be out of hibernation for time warp? That makes no sense. Anywho, it looks like our yaw is pretty much maxed out there. Launching another one. My gosh. That is so annoying. There's absolutely no reason that had to happen. Like, really, there's literally no excuse. I can't think of any valid excuse for why that had to happen. So... I guess we're just launching it again and doing the exact same mission again because for some reason Kerbal Space Program gets its jollies out of saying, hey, you didn't hibernate the thing. when you time warped. Come on. It's a time warp. What are you... I don't know. It's just ridiculous. It's not logical in some levels. And it's just kind of tedious on other levels. It's not entertaining to me. I don't know if it's entertaining to you guys. I suppose it's not because there's nobody there. Case in point. Alright, here we go. Up to 60k. This is literally the same procedure as last time. Just saying. I mean, literally nothing is changing here. 7, 8, 9, here we go, 60. Decouple. Turn ourselves this way. Yeah, that's going to be a sour note there. All right, here we go. We don't need that apogee to increase, do we? Just need to kind of stay where it is. I'll just go full tangential for now, and then once that velocity vector starts to catch up with us, we'll angle up a little. Going this way, keep it on the horizon. Alright, so now our velocity vector is starting to catch up with us. We want to hammer as much as we can tangentially. And then once that velocity vector starts to align with the tangential direction, we're going to slowly pinch it up a little. So here we go. Here's our apogee. We are slowly approaching. We're going to slowly pinch up like so, just to keep that apogee running away from us. Alright, keep it up a little more. Keep it a constant 7 seconds away from us. So about 30 degrees. There we go. Just keeping ourselves carefully and optimistically. Keep an open mind on this. You know, that last mission was total trashola. Trashola or trash cola? Good question. I'd say it was trashola. There's literally no excuse. You put the thing into hibernation when you time warp, Kerbal Space Program. I mean, how hard is that to understand? If I'm time warping, then chances are I'm not controlling the thing, so that you can put the command module in hibernation. That should be default behavior. Or at the very least, you know, give me an option. That'd be nice. Nope. Thou shalt not receive any option to do so. I rag on this game a lot when it frustrates me. You can tell by the fact that I'm ragging on it right now. Eh? Ain't I just? But I think that ragging on it's perfectly justifiable. Because they're coming up with the Kerbal Space Program too. And these are things that they need to think about. I mean, really. You're going to do a second version of this. You got to get the first version right first. They're not going to come back and fix this. Once Kerbal Space Program 2 comes out, my thoughts are Kerbal Space Program 1 is dead in the water at that point. They are not going to come back. They're not going to support it. They're not going to fix it. They're just going to say, oh, you should get version 2. Because you know what? Version 2 is new. And that's going to be your whole thing, your whole spiel. It's going to be just get version 2 because it's out. Why not? Everybody wants to pay more for something. Version 2 better have some new features. If version 2 is just rehashed version 1, man, are they going to have to answer to some people. I might be one of those people they have to answer to. If version 1 is identical to version 2, like, come on. I don't think they would do that. I don't think they would do that. I think we can trust them. To an extent. It's take two after all, so I wouldn't put it past them. I would hope that there's enough autonomy for the individuals working on Kerbal Space Program that they can make it great. But, you know, with take two, you just don't know. It could be sufficient autonomy, or they could just, you know, say, make it profitable, otherwise it's done. And then you get garbage. That's how you get garbage tier stuff. I'm hopeful. I remain hopeful. Alright. We're going to warp to next maneuver. Oh, careful that your thing doesn't run out of electricity. Oh. While you're time warping, because, you know, for some reason it's not asleep during a time warp, even though everything suggests that it should be. There's literally nothing it can do during time warp, so why wouldn't it go to hibernation? I think that's actually a massive oversight. You know, I don't think that that's correct. I don't think that it should be in standard operating mode when you're time warping. That just doesn't make sense. Why would it? Like, what is there to do? Makes little sense to moi. Alright, we should be able to get to the moon with this, though. We have a little bit of extra mass to push, but we'll get there. 2 and 1. Right, and slowly out. 1800. How are we here, by the way? We're doing okay. We're doing aight, as they say. AIGHTW. I can wiggle it. That'll get us there. Alright. Now, right now, before this happens, hibernation. Come on. Like, why is that not automatic? Because now I can time warp, and the thing will work perfectly fine. Mark my words. It'll operate exactly the same in time warp as it would out of time warp. I think it's just... you know, I can complain until I'm blue in the mouth. It's not going to change anything. Alright, here we go. See, look at that. Full electric charge. Ah. Yeah, no, I'll complain. I'll continue to complain, and I'll continue to complain until they fix the dang thing. But they're not going to fix it. We know they're not going to fix it. Why would they fix something that needs to be fixed when they can just not fix it? And their profit margin is higher. Alright, here we go, here we go. Alright. Wake from hibernation. Point in a direction. That is not the correct direction. Here we go. And orbit. Right, so we now have orbit. How does this work? Oh, hello. Return from orbit. Bring a vessel that was in stable orbit of the moon back to the surface to achieve this goal. I am going to warp all the way around the moon just to make sure 110%... Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold it there, grumpy clown. Hibernation mode. Because you need to physically select that button when you click warp here. It won't automatically go into hibernation mode. Ooh, careful now. Careful now. I don't want to say something spicy, that's for sure. Alright, I'm going to make sure that it was in stable orbit. Go all the way around still. Alright. Hit us... Oh, slash to cancel. Sorry. That's my problem. That's absolutely my fault. Alright, we'll warp to here. Hold on, how are we going to do this? So the idea is I'm going to go here. Control lock. Can I... Can I just say... That is very annoying. There. So, add maneuver. There we go. Hello. Alright, so how's this going to work? Okay, that is going to be an escape trajectory of Kerbin. We don't want that. So if I add a maneuver here instead, that's also going to be an escape trajectory of Kerbin. Well, how can I add a maneuver? Do I actually have to be going the other way? Oops. Hold on. So I'm going this way. If I push out from here, right, add a maneuver from here, just a little maneuver. Doesn't have to be huge. Right. This is... Okay, there's your trajectory. We're actually going to be out by Minimus by this time, which I don't like. But wait, it doesn't show what our next thing is going to be. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna pause it here. I'm gonna quickly go use the bathroom, and I'll think about this while I'm there. Okay, we're back. I think I got this. I think I've worked it out in my head. All right. What we're going to do is we're going to push out from here, because that'll push us in towards Kerbin. We're still in orbit of the moon, so we're always going to have this kind of hanging over us. But I think that's going to be our best bet, is if we go up here and we push in. Unless... would this do something? This kind of does something, but not enough. What if I go the other way? Okay, not enough either there. What about if I add a maneuver here and try pushing in? Okay, so that would work. 84 meters per second at this location. That brings our perigee down into spec. That puts our apogee way out there. But this would work, wouldn't it? This would so work, I think. I'd like to think. Hibernation on. Yeah, we'll go like that. We're just going to punch through the moon. There we go. Hibernation off. Because I gotta specifically say that every sodden time. Like, realistically, right now, what is my probe going to do differently in hibernation that it wouldn't do out of hibernation? Tell me. Anyone, please. I'd love to know. Oh, what, the answer is nothing? It would do literally nothing different? Well, I don't know about that. Alright, let's go. We aim to return from the moon. Let's go ahead and warp. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. We almost did the same thing again. Oh my gosh. That is so rude, Kerbal Space Program. That is so rude. It's rude, dude. You don't gotta do that, dude. It's rude. How can you do that, dude? It's rude. It's rude, dude. Alright, here we go. Duty time. Alright, so I am going to go antigrade. Of course, get to take it out of hibernation. And we're going to go this way. And we're going to punch that perigee down. Oopsie. Yeah, perigee. Right about there. Punch it down. Carefully control it now to about 100k. Alright, 97's fine. So about 97k. I'm going to come back here. We're going to add another maneuver point. Now, I don't know how much of a maneuver to do. I like this flight planning that we have, though. So we can do that. Burn off about 400 meters per second. Keep burning it. 600 meters per second. That puts us into more or less a stable orbit, doesn't it? Okay, let's focus on Kerbin. So we do that. That puts us into more or less a stable orbit there, roughly. And that's a much more survivable approach. And then it's just a matter of trying to land somewhere that will have adequate communications coverage. So 19-second burn time. We've got more than enough for it. One thing we don't want is hibernation. Can't forget to have your hibernation. Yikes. Alright, warp to the next maneuver. So in we go. I think this will work. I have hopes. Not hops. Alright, there we go. So, actually, we might be able to land on one of these passes anyway. Can't forget the hibernation. It's really... That is very annoying. It should just auto-hibernate, dude, when you warp. Because physically, what is it going to do differently? Whether you're in hibernation or not, what is the difference there? I'm sure somebody has an explanation as to why hibernate doesn't just automatically go when you time warp. Someone's got to have an explanation for that. I'm sure there is someone. Someone's gonna point it out to me. And I'm gonna point out, you know what? It doesn't make any sense. There really is no good explanation for it. 380. Right about there. Right about there. Not bad. Alright, perigee 92, apogee 368. Not bad. Not terribly bad at all. No, sir. Let's go to our perigee. Perigee is attained. I'm actually gonna bring us in just a little bit. Now, 92K, I'm gonna go back up to apogee here. Back up to our apogee. And we're just gonna slowly bring that, that little perigee in. You know what? I really want to make sure that we land at Kerbal Space Center. Or that we land somewhere that we have communication. So I almost want to, I'm almost tempted to just let this go around again. Go back up to the apogee. So I do this. This will be landing mostly in water. I don't think I necessarily want to land in the water. Kerbal Space Center is on the opposite side of it. Let's just, let's warp until Kerbal Space Center is in view of the sun. Or we might try to land there. Go around. This is like a roller coaster, baby, baby. Roller coaster. Alright, there we go. Okay, so that's more or less where we're going to go. So we're going to go here, add a maneuver, just to bring us in. Yeah, I don't need to plan that. Let's warp out to there. And we will make our way towards the Space Center, hopefully landing as close to it as we can. That's the plan. Oh, we weren't hibernating. Well, that could have drained our battery pretty severely. That would have been nasty. Been stranded up here, you know? Like I said, should be automatic. Why isn't it? Let's bring ourselves lightly down into atmosphere here. 60, about 60,000, I think. I think that's a good shout. About 60,000, maybe a little more. I don't know. We're trying to land at the Space Center. If I get to 60,000, I'm going to punch it out here. That'll either land us in the water or near the Space Center, I think. So, somewhere in here. Wish me luck. Wish me luck. Doodly-doo. Wish me luck. I don't know. I don't give a luck. I don't really actually own a duck. I just said I did, but I don't. That was deemed a lie. Yes, that was actually a lie. I'm sorry. I don't own a duck. I'm sorry for anyone who was perhaps misled by my comments. It was not my intention. Okay, so we are now in atmosphere. I'm going to go ahead and... should I try and deploy these now? Oh, man. What a conundrum. Well, where are we now? We're over this place. So this is where we are. This is where our target is. So we're going to start burning at the perigee. I don't think that'll be much of an issue. Let's just let this do its thing. A little bit further, a little bit deeper into the atmos. Fear. Alright, going down, and then heading back up in a second, hopefully. With any luck. Keeping that communication. Where's our nearest communication? So we're communicating through this satellite. If we venture over here, we'll start communicating through this satellite. I think we're all set for communications. I think we'll be fine. In terms of communications, I think we have what it takes. Alright, we're hitting our low point. About to go up in about 10 seconds-ish, give or take. A little bit of time. Alright, we're on our ascent. Our apogee is 287, and if we start burning now, we should land at the Space Center. So, I'm actually going to go ahead and do that. Oh dear. Well, there that goes. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and jettison the engine compartment. Carefully now. So we got this little guy that's going to be landing us. Hopefully. And as for communications, like we're really kind of banking on this, aren't we? We really are kind of banking on it. I really want to just jettison. I think if we get to 40,000, once we get to 40,000, we will jettison. I think that'd be the best way to do that. So right now we're just burning off a little extra. We might lose this this dish, which you know what would be actually kind of devastating. Let's hope we don't lose our dish. We're probably going to lose the dish. You know, if I had to guess, I'd say, oh my gosh, I am peaking the microphone. Something awful. What is going on here? It was fine earlier, wasn't it? I think it was fine. I'm inclined to say maybe I was just further back. Okay, we're going to be fine, I think. I'm back off the microphone again. Hopefully this is a good distance. So 40,000, if we get there, we might just deploy parachutes for safety. Not sure if we're allowed to activate them right now. Are we? Last thing I want to do is lose my parachutes, you know? I'm going to time warp this just a wee bit here. Very carefully. So 40,000, remember, is our target altitude. That's where we're gonna cut things off. Okay, 56,000. Dude, if we land at Kerbal Space Center, that would be freaking awesome, wouldn't it? Landing at the Space Center would be nice, I think. Landing at all would be very nice, I think. Definitely something I want to do. All right, so here we are. We're hitting the re-entry. Yeah, that dish doesn't look so good, does it? Okay, we're really bouncing off there. Oh wait, is that Kerbal Space Center? We just flew over. We just flew past it. Okay. So we're going to do that, and then we're kind of relying on the other communication satellites, which I don't know we're going to have a good... where are we? Wow, that was zoomed out. Holy smokes. Couldn't even see the dang thing, dude. Talking how zoomed out we are there. Alright, we lost our... Oh, no. That was our only source of control. Oh, I should have done it. Dang it. Because now we've got nothing. I'm going to just keep hammering the spacebar in case we happen to come into contact, but now we got nothing. We got nothing. You know, wouldn't it be nice if you could, like, say, I don't know, this thing's programmable. I can deploy the parachutes at this altitude. Wouldn't it be nice? Hammering the spacebar now. Oh, it worked. Hammering the spacebar worked for once. I don't know if it's going to work in my favor, but you know what? It looks like it worked. We've got communications again. Oh my gosh. Dude. Dude, you can't do me like that, man. Oh, my poor heart. All right, it's looking like it's going to be a water landing here. We are at good enough speed right now. This could deploy immediately if we wanted to. Yeah, drop down that min pressure there. Yeah, we lost our little antenna. Poor little guy. Right, 250 meters per second. I might drop down this little guy's altitude as well. We're out of control. Darn. Well, I guess we'll just have to see what it does. I'm hopeful. Very hopeful, but not optimistic. At this point, it really should have gone. Oh! It did it! We have parachute! We might survive this. So primary parachute deployed at roughly 5,000 meters. Secondary parachute, what's going to happen? Secondary parachute's deployed at 3,500. Full deployment isn't until lower altitudes. Our surface velocity is reducing. Surface velocity 30 meters per second and dropping. Stable around 30. Dude, it's working. It worked more or less how I wanted it to, even. Isn't that lovely? So we have no communications with this probe whatsoever. We have no control over it. But because we managed to deploy these parachutes at a higher altitude, once they got to the lower altitude, they were able to deploy correctly and slow us down, so we're going to have a safe landing. Descent rate, 5 meters per second, 5.5. Alright, well that's something to be grateful for, I suppose. Still peeking this microphone. Dude, I'm a loud talker sometimes, and I'm a low talker at other times. But when I'm really up close to the microphone like this, I gotta stop yelling. Alright, here we go. 200 meters. Descent rate, 5.5 meters per second. 100 meters to splashdown. Can I see a shadow anywhere? I do not see a shadow anywhere. 30 meters to splashdown. There's our shadow. And we have landing. We're sinking a little bit, but we have landing. All right. We recovered it. I think that's a successful mission right there. Let's take a look. I think it's successful. It looked pretty successful to me. What have we got? 9.6 science earned. Got some funds from recoverable parts, but no, I wanted to see the mission. Is that contract complete? We have taken our first step towards exploring the moon. Let's see where it takes us. I think that's the one. And then our engineers are already repurposing parts of the vessel for other missions. Good work. So we just returned from an orbit of the moon. Alright. Next step, Minimus? Question mark? We can get science data from around the moon? No problemo. Explore the moon. Rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit of the moon. Return to Kerbin from the surface of the moon. Obviously we got to accept that mission. Temperature surveys, haul a thing into flight, tundra orbit. I'm testing a heat shield splashdown. Well, for now, I think what we have here is pretty good. Science data from space around the moon. That I can get immediately. Let's get it. The next thing I want to do, really, is... oh, wow. Look at that. That is ridiculous, isn't it? Alright, where's our unmanned moon spacecraft? Let's go ahead and fly our... yeah, we got all this debris. We got to get rid of this debris. This debris is in the way. Has anybody ever had a mid-air collision in Kerbal Space Program? Because I've never been able to make it work. How hard I try. It does not work. Transmit that. Alrighty. Back to the Space Center. We got ourselves some scientific information from space around Kerbin, or space around the moon. A little bit of scientific information. Good to send it back. Now that we're back on Kerbal, let's take a look what other missions we might have. Observational surveys. I don't really want to. I don't trust that. So our next thing is to rendezvous 2 vessels in orbit of the moon and to return from the surface of the moon. Those are our next big thing. And we actually have enough to upgrade this facility. We can upgrade this to 255. Our launch pad still needs to support us, but we can upgrade this. Which I might just do, you know? Like, do a bunch of these. I think I might do that on the next stream. But if I do a bunch of these, then I can upgrade our launch facility. And we'll be good, won't we? So yeah, this is still a little ways away. But I think returning from the surface of the moon is definitely something we can do. I think that's within the realm of possibility. For the next stream, of course, this one's been going on for, what has it been? About 2.5 hours. I know it's been a bit of a short stream today, but I'm all kerbaled out. So let's call it there for today. I'll go ahead and give this a quick save, and we will see you next time. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Don't smell the blood in the water. Would anyone be interested in a Sims? You know what? I shouldn't ask what I'm not going to do. With a whopping 0 viewers. Who knows? Alrighty. I actually have some real scientific research to pour through a little bit later today, which is what I'm going to be doing right after the stream. I think the stuff that I had setting, I had a simulation running. I should be able to check it now, and I think it's pretty much done. So that'll be what I'm up to after the stream. Never a day of rest for a PhD. No, sir. No, they don't say so. Of course, I'm not a PhD yet. I'm training to be. Eventually, maybe. Who knows?